Okay, we're going to go over the next four problems in your practice test. Those are problems 18, 19, 20, and 21. Let's jump right in and get started with problem number 18. Okay, let's read this. Brad washes 9 plates. That is 4 fewer plates than Quinn washes. How many plates does Quinn wash? Okay, so Brad's washing some plates and Quinn also washes plates. Now, I know this is not a start change result because no one is adding more or taking some away. This could be a part whole because there's two groups. There's Brad's plates and Quinn's plates, but it's not asking us how many they wash all together. It's asking how many plates does Quinn wash, and it also says that Quinn wash more plates than Brad. Brad washes 4 fewer plates than Quinn. I see these key words here, fewer than, and that lets me know that this is a compare problem. So I'm going to draw my compare bars. And when I draw the compare bars, I'm going to be looking first for who washed more plates and who washed fewer plates. Okay, so I know the people in our story are Brad and Quinn. Brad washed 9 plates, which is 4 fewer plates than Quinn. So Brad washes fewer plates than Quinn. So Brad washed fewer than Quinn. So Brad should go on the bottom and Quinn should go on the top. Now our question is asking how many plates does Quinn wash? So I'm going to put a question mark for Quinn since we don't know how many she washed. And then it said Brad washes 9 plates. So I'm going to put 9 for Brad. And the difference is 4 since he washed 4 fewer than Quinn. Now I can set up my equation. More minus fewer equals the difference. So for more, we need to put a box because that's what the question is asking. And then minus, sorry, that's very messy. Let me erase that really quick. Okay, so I'll put a box for more. And then minus fewer, we have 9 equals 4 for the difference. And I know whenever this number is missing in a subtraction equation, I need to add these two numbers together because those are the partners and this is the total. I also know by looking at my comparison bars, these two always add up to the top. The 2 on the bottom will add together to give you the top number. So I can do 9 plus 4 equals 13, okay? So comparison bars, in a way, are quite similar to Math Mountains. The bottom are the partners, and at the top is the total. So now I'm going to look for my label, and I'm always going to go to the question to figure out what the label is and look after how many. So here we see how many plates. So I'm going to write plates for my label. Okay, and that is problem number 18. Let's go on to problem number 19. Okay, let's read number 19 together. Madison has some grapes in a bowl. She gives 5 grapes to Haley. Now she has 8 grapes left. How many grapes were in the bowl at first? Okay, so first I'm trying to figure out what kind of problem this is, and I see Madison is giving grapes to Haley. So there is an action here. Someone is giving away something. So that word gives tells me that this is a start change result. Okay, and let's look for the other parts. So here we can see Madison has some grapes in the bowl. So the start is just that she has some. That's our unknown number. And we can confirm that by looking at the question. The question says, how many grapes were in the bowl at first? At first always means at the start. So at first, at the beginning, that means how many they had at the start. So sum is going to be our start. And then she gives 5 grapes to Haley. So that is the action, which is our change. Now she has 8 grapes left. So now is our keyword to know what the result is in a start change result. So that is going to be, that will be 8. Sorry. So our result is going to be 8. And now we can write our equation. So we said at the start, there's sum. So we're going to write a box for that. Now, she's giving grapes to someone. So she's giving grapes away. That means the amount of grapes she has is getting smaller. So we need to subtract that. So we're subtracting the change, which is 5. And then as a result, it said she had 8 grapes left. Okay, now we can draw our picture to solve for our answer. So just like we saw in the compare problem in number 18, whenever we have a subtraction equation, these two numbers are always going to add up to the first number, which is the total. So we're always subtracting from the total. So in that case, we want to add these two numbers together, 5 and 8, to get the missing total. So what I'm going to do is start from 8, and I will count up 5 more. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to count on from 8 and add these 5 to find our answer. So I'm going to do 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I can double check just to make sure my answer is right. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles. And I'll count one more time. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so I know my answer is 13. And I can look back at the equation to make sure that makes sense. 13 minus 5 equals 8. Yep, that sounds good. So now I'm going to look for my label. I'm going to my question and seeing what comes after the words how many. And this problem says how many grapes were in the bowl at first. So I'm going to write 13 grapes. Okay. And now I'm ready to go on to number 20. All right, let's go on. Okay, number 20. Let's start by reading it. There are 7 daisies, 3 tulips, and 3 roses in a vase. How many flowers are in the vase? Okay, so right now we're looking at 3 different types of flowers, and they're all being put together in a vase. So when we're putting different groups of things together, I know that that is a part whole. So since there are 3 groups here, that means I need to write for 3 different parts. Part 1, part 2, and part 3. And we know our whole is all of the flowers together. All the flowers that are in the vase. So part 1, we have daisies, part 2, tulips, and part 3, roses. So let's see if we can add all of these things together. So first I need to look how many daisies there are. It says there are 7 daisies, so I'm going to write 7 for part 1. And then how many tulips there are, and it says there are 3 tulips, so I'm going to write 3 for part 2. And then how many roses there are, and it says there are 3 roses, so I'm going to write 3 for part 3. Okay, and so I'm probably missing the whole since I have every other part of my equation right now, but I can double check by looking at the question. It says how many flowers are in the vase, and my whole is talking about flowers, so I'm going to put my box here. Okay, so when we have 3 parts that we're adding together, we're just going to add 2 of those first to make it a little easier for us when we're going to add. So we're going to do first 7 plus 3. Or you could do 3 plus 3. It's really up to you. But I know with 7 and 3, I can make a 10. So that's really easy for me to solve first. So 7 plus 3 is 10. I'm going to go back up to my equation and join these two together and put 10. So now my equation is 10 plus 3. And I'm going to use that to solve with my picture. So I'm going to count up from the bigger number, which is 10. And then I'm going to count up by 3. So I'm going to draw 3 circles. 1, 2, 3. So the answer here will be adding 3 with 10. So it's 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. In my picture on the answer key, I had a little box drawn around these circles like this, just because I thought it looked a little confusing. I had 10 and then I followed up with 3 zeros. So it kind of looked like 10,000. So I just drew a box around, but there was really no purpose for that. And you don't need to do that. You can just write 10 and draw 3 circles for this one. Okay, so now I'm going to write my answer, which was 13. And then I'm looking back at the question for the label. I'm always going to look after the words. How many? That's right. So in this one, we see how many flowers. Right. Good job. Okay. So our label in this problem should be flowers. Okay, so that's number 20. Let's go on to the last problem for this page, number 21. Okay, let's read number 21. Cooper catches 15 frogs. Jordan catches 6 fewer frogs than Cooper. How many frogs does Jordan catch? Okay, so in this problem right away, I see there are 2 people. These people are catching some frogs. So since there's 2 people, that makes me think this could be a part whole, or it could be a start change result or a compare. Now, if it was a start change result, someone would be getting more or giving some away. And I don't see that happening in this problem. However, I do see some key words that instantly tell me what kind of problem this is. Do you know which words I'm talking about? Yes, that's right. I'm talking about the words fewer than. These 2 words tell me that it is a compare problem. That's right. So I'm going to start by drawing my compare bars because those will help me set up my equation. Okay, and whenever we have a compare problem, I want you guys to draw comparison bars as your picture. If you need to draw circles or make another picture to solve for your equation at the end, that's fine. But our first drawing should be of our comparison bars. Now, for our compare bars, we know we always need to figure out who has more and who has fewer first. So let's read again and check who has more and who has fewer. So up here it says Cooper catches 15 frogs. And then it says Jordan catches 6 fewer than Cooper. So Jordan catches fewer than Cooper. So Jordan is catching fewer than. So Jordan is fewer. He needs to go on the bottom and Cooper is going to go on the top. So now we saw Cooper caught 15 frogs. So I'm going to write 15 up here for more. And then Jordan, it's saying he catches 6 fewer than Cooper. It doesn't just say Jordan catches 6 frogs. It says 6 fewer frogs. So 6 is our difference, 6 fewer than. And then the question is asking, how many frogs does Jordan catch? So I know we don't know this information. That's what we need to solve for. So I'm going to put a question mark for how many frogs Jordan caught. Now I can go ahead and write my equation. More minus the one with fewer equals the difference. So here we have 15 for M in our compare bars. And then for F, we have a box. And for the difference, we had 6. Okay, so now we can solve for this. And to solve, we can either count up from 6 to 15. We could count back 6 from 15. Or we can use some mental math strategies, like saying that 15 is 10 plus 5, and 6 is 1 more than 5. So I could take 5 away and say, now we have 10, and I need to take 1 more away, and that will give me 10 minus 1, which is 9. Okay, so our answer here is 9, and then we need to look for our label. So I'm looking in the problem for the question words, how many, to see where what our label is, and I see how many frogs. So our label should be frogs, and our answer is 9 frogs. Okay, so that is it for this page. If you still have questions about some of the other pages, then please watch the other videos. I'm going to make another video with the last page if you've joined me here from the first one. So keep watching, and I will see you at school tomorrow.